What's up, YouTube? Reagan Arataka, the greatest psychic in modern history, and I dare say, Branded is the best deck!
Yo, Vasilis here, and guess what? Branded.Best.Deck!
Branded.Best.Deck indeed. Today I'm gonna show you how exactly you play this deck. I will have 3 replays against every meta deck at the moment, which is Vanquish Soul, and DRACOTAIL, and I will show you exactly how to beat each deck. So here, thankfully we go first. He activates Fuga, and I'm like, alright, bet. Let's see what your deck can do with 100 cards in your hand. So I search Branded Fusion, it resolves, I go for Titanic Lad. The reason I got Titanic Lad here is because if I want Albion intending to Fusion Summon, then I would give him 3 draws for no reason. And Titanic Lad can give him 1 less draw when you summon Quem, and basically play on his turn instead. Plus I want to set up Lost with Lobelion. He also has a lot of turn 0 plays, as you see, like it's a pick your hand situation with Holy Shoe, Valius, Izuna, another hand trap, Fuga, Red Extravagance next turn to draw even more. So yeah, let's see what our deck can do. So he activates Holy Shoe and I chain Mululu in order to activate Mululu's effect on resolution. So if he goes Holy Shoe effect chain, then whatever he brings a negate. So now Resin will not get him value. And he is left with values, yes I know, but he has to have another dark. And since his only dark is a Didicro, which I had assumed he has to force it on either Arthelion right now, otherwise I get a lot of advantage, or on Lubellion, so I got that covered. He gets another draw, which is Take Your Soul, I don't care about it. He does exactly that, he reveals Didicro, then he changes Didicro, so I will not add back Femena. The reason I targeted Femena here is because I knew that first of all he would Didicro, and second of all, if he doesn't have Didicro, then Femena is helpful to dodge another hand trap, because I can fusion these into Chaos Star Source, popping his monsters, and then I would basically protect myself if Lubellion gets banished. So now he also activates Izuna, which is great for me honestly, because now I have triple tactics trust, and realistically Nass Knight doesn't do anything. I'm assuming he waits for a Lubellion, but he doesn't activate it on Lubellion. Activate Thrust. Here I could Thrust search talents to look at hand, playing potential around an Ash Blossom, but I thought of myself, if he has Ash Blossom, he will chain it to Thrust or on Patchwork, so I get the value either way. And even if he doesn't have Ash Blossom, then Patchwork is just better. So basically Patchwork works as a triple tactics talent in this situation, because I will understand if he has Ash Blossom in his hand, then I will be free to resolve my 2 spells. And even if he activates an Ash Blossom on either spell, then I know that I will resolve the other, and I have another polymerization ready to fusion summon. He changed Nass Knight, stealing my Arthelion for some reason. Maybe he wants to play around me not having any DRACOTAIL monster on the field. But now I can go for Secretarian, which is more advantage. Branded Lost. Another reason why I didn't go into Albion, is because I want Albaz in the graveyard, so when Lubellion sets Lost, I will add Cartesia and I will extend even more. I really don't care about this Fuga, like I have balls bigger than this man's hand. And yeah, I will just play into it, you know. I play the best deck, I'm not afraid of him having cards. So here I extend. I really don't care about his deck. I know that this deck cannot push through my Enfield, and Secretarian checks his values. So now all his turn 0 plays are finished. He has hand trapped me, he has used his turn 0 plays, and now I can be free to resolve my cards. I had Femena with Urgula, so Didicro basically did nothing, but I knew that. I go into main and not activate Cartesia because I want to play around Nibiru. If he activates Nibiru, then I chain Cartesia to go for Graginol, or even Aquaritis. Here I banish his Vanquish Soul in order for me to set Retribution. I will negate his extravagance because realistically he doesn't have a lot of spells in his deck, and the +2 is good even with all these cards in the hand. He activates Fuga, but he has resolved Pot of Extrava, so it doesn't draw him any cards. He activates Raisin to pop my Gulamel, which is completely fine. I have opening to protect. Secretarian checks his values. I understand he has Holy Shoe, but now I chain Cartesia in a way that Gragignol gets both of his effects, and on resolution I will have sent an extra deck monster with Quem on the field, so now it will trigger Quem as well, reborning my Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade checks his Holy Shoe, so he's forced to activate Holy Shoe Scaling 1, he doesn't reveal any fire, so I guess he wants to steal my Quem, which is fine. I will just Mirror Jade whatever he brings. I can just do it now on the field spell target, so now both 2 out of 3 raisins are banished. He doesn't get to search. He has values which I can counter that with my horn. I still have retribution for a Canaan play, and I still have Rainbroom for Albaz, Fimena, and Mululu. So that game is just activating some cards before it ends. Here I chain because values has to return in order to summon. I go and grab one more card to my hand with Horn, Returning Flame. He summons his Admit Defeat button. I summon my Win button on the form of Albaz, and I fuse his monster into Lubellion into one more interruption, and of course he loses. Game 2, unfortunately he has Retaliating Sea, as you see, and I don't have any Fimena to utilize my pan. I mean on turn 0, which is unlucky. Of course I play 60 cards, it's not that consistent on drawing Fimena, but that's fine. He activates Holy Shoe, he does a lot of weird lines. I'm assuming he wants to go for Paradise because he can just summon Jalong, but surprisingly he goes Reaper into Force Release. He could do that a million ways if he grabbed Jokul, Summon, Search Lantern, Lantern Special. I really don't know what he's doing. Here I activate Book of Eclipse to force something out, maybe an Ash Blossom, so I could resolve Ketu. I didn't play around Retaliating Sea, I didn't expect it. I can still do some things with Tragedy, but obviously against double Retaliating it's gonna be a bit hard. So I summon Aluber, says Branded Fusion. I assume he doesn't have Ash Blossom, but now he pops my field. Which brings me into an unfortunate situation because I needed them to stick on the field. But yeah, unfortunately, he will go Holy Shoe, he will play on my turn, and I will try to force Retaliating Sea with Branded Red so I can attack over it, but unfortunately he doesn't activate Retaliating. So yeah, I couldn't play around that, but he had the second one, so it didn't really matter. Here again he has turn 0 play in the form of Izuna. He has also Diddy Crow. Now the Lost forced so much interruption because Fimena activated under Lost, so if he wanted to Diddy Crow my card, he couldn't on resolution. So now he has committed into a monster effect, and I am free to resolve Arthelion and search Fimena after that. So basically, he doesn't affect my Arthelion at all. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of DRACOTAIL names. I try to draw one. I draw into a trap, which is unfortunate. I search Mululu because it's a dark attribute for Blazing Cartesia. Activate Blazing Cartesia to go Gragignol. Gragignol will eventually get me into Branded combo because it will send Titanic Lad into summoning Quem. Now I see that when I set my cards, he's thinking, so that means, thankfully for me, an Izuna or a Holy Shoe. And I was baiting that because that's why I didn't activate Thrust. I needed him to activate a turn 0 play because Thrust doesn't have anything good to set in my deck. So I needed him to activate a turn 0 play in order to search Branded Fusion and basically win. He, for some reason, goes Izuna into Lupis. I don't really care about now this field. I go into Quem just to bait the Nash Knight. But now I activate Thrust into Branded Fusion. He used his interruptions for no reason, and yeah. That is game 1. Game 2 will be against Yami. Yami, as you see, he opens 3 hand traps, he goes first, and he has 2 card combo. And I have a generic hand. Patchwork plus poly is never nice to see, but I guess it can force out an interruption. So let's see, he normal summons Fuga to play around some hand traps, I guess. Then he special summons, which is nice. It plays around Ogre, which I can understand. Honestly, he plays well this game, I think. He goes Snatchy, he doesn't activate the effect to still play around Ogre. Although he sees a 60 card deck, I don't know how realistic it is to play around Ogre against a 60 card, but that's fine. He goes Metal Marcher, special summon Capsy, he special summon from the hand, activate Herald, summon Herald, activate Snatchy, into Minion. So now it's a standard Yami field, and I also have to play through 2 hand traps, who thankfully cannot be activated as long as Herald is on the field. And yeah, I top deck Lost. I tried to activate Lost in order maybe to bait Herald, but he can surprise bounce my Lost whenever he needs to. He can also synchro summon. So for that reason, I activate Fimena's Chilling 1 with priority. So if he activates something to synchro, he can't activate it on res. The field spell, he cannot be activated. So now very well he activates Yami Surprise to bounce my Lost. I'm trying to bait Herald because I have a call by. He synchro summons as a Chainlink 3 into Lollipop to Reborn 2. I have priority because I have to fusion. So that forces out the Herald. He tries to Velar under Herald, which he can't, because that works for both players. So I get rid of Herald, number 1. And now I have Polymerization, plus some cards maybe to try and activate. The reason I don't activate Lost is because on resolution of Lost, he will for sure activate Snatchy to synchro summon into something and then pop with a Croaky. And I don't want that to happen. I want Branded Lost to resolve. So that's why I activate Polymerization when I have priority. And I fusion summon, I'm under Macrocosmos number 2, but thankfully Ad Libitum is a way for me to chain block my effects. He activates Herald on Ad Libitum, I pop his field spell, I attack his synchro, so now he's left with nothing. I guess he was so mad that he left, and that is fine. Because we play the best deck, he couldn't handle it obviously. When you activate your cards into a full combo with 2 hand traps and you're losing to just engine, I can understand being mad. Game 3 against DRACOTAIL, we go second twice now, against the 2 of the 3 best decks. He plays a list that was popularized in the DB Grinder tournament, that actually won, with the Lightened and Darkened Dragons. And yeah, he goes and fuses, he sets his back row, he has his Blossom with Fimena and Nibiru and Pan, Hieratic Spheres, both traps, which is a very very good endboard. Unfortunately, we play the best deck. For some reason here, he doesn't negate Polymerization, which is crazy in my opinion. You should always negate the first spell that the DRACOTAIL activate, because if I have Orgula, I can just pop your flame and then resolve my next spells. Unfortunately, I do not have Orgula, as you see. Of course, it's a one-off. But thankfully, Tragedy will get me into Branded combo with Aluber. He does have us Blossom, but I feel like I can force it out pretty easily. I have also a Gem Chain, where if I send it to the graveyard from my hand for a fusion summon, I can also add Patchwork. So now he triggers his Urgula, I activate my Rahu, he negates with Flame. The reason I activate Ketu here is because I want to play around as Blossom, because as long as Branded Fusion resolves, I can break his whole field right now. And yeah, I go into Albion, and that's basically full combo. I can discard Gem Chain, and then I can go for Mirror Jade. Gem Chain grabs me Patchwork, Polymerization plus another Gem Chain. And now I also have Bestial Rebellion. I can pretty easily play around his trap card, because he has to activate the trap card on his own monster to trigger Gulamel. But thankfully Mirror Jade deals with Gulamel, because I can chain block his trap card. Not bouncing, not drawing, so now he has lost both his traps, so he doesn't have enough grind game to beat me. And he also lost name Banished, which is huge. So now I can resolve my Lubellion, Fusion Summon into Guardian Chimera, and Brand Lost will get me an Albion from my deck. I go and draw Droplet, which is nice, and Flame, which is also nice, because it deals with Thrahu. I go and attack Gulamel, because I feel that's the most dangerous thing. He activates Nibiru, which is fine completely. I can trigger my Mirror G to basically destroy his field if I need to. And I get my Blazing Artesia back from the graveyard. Albion will search me a Branded and Red, which I will activate. I am not setting it because I want to Fusion Summon now to trigger Guiding Quem, and Star Source will deal with Rahu. So if he has another Ash, which he has, the trap card doesn't really matter because I would hold my trap card for Rahu, but Ash Blossom would negate it. So that's why I was playing around the second Ash Blossom. So you saw me breaking a full Dragontail field with almost every interruption that they can possibly put up against me. And yeah, game 2 I'm very good and I throw Fuga in 60. In 55, I think I was playing at the time. Yeah, he activates Ketu. He tries to play around the Fuga. Obviously, he's fusion locked, so now he can't go for spheres. He goes Gulamel, which is respectable, but I will draw one more card. And giving more draws into this deck is kind of crazy. Yeah, draw phase, I can Edge and Change and Masquerade because they are both Finch. So now I also play around Droll and Lockbird. I could also Brand Opening, but I don't really need to. I can also search Brand Fusion with Quem indirectly. So now Cartesia can basically protect me from his trap cards and Veiler. I normal summon Aluber. I understand that he has Veiler because the way he played it is he's trying to Gulamel pop my Cartesia, forcing it out so he can Veiler my Aluber, which I'm fine with it because I have Fusion Deployment to go Albaz and then Fusion Summon his monster. So that's why I chained Cartesia, because I don't really care about him negating the Aluber. I have a lot of gas in my hand. And yeah, Gragignol will send a Saronir, Saronir will send a trap card. So yeah, here I go Fusion Deployment. He goes Arthelion. So now I don't want him to add Bell back, so that's why I activate the Albaz, knowing that he will Arthelion bounce back my Albaz, which I'm fine with, because I have a Polymerization and I can easily go into a Mirror Jet when I want to with the Albaz. Here I force out the Flame, and then I will activate Ketu into full Dragontail and Branded combo, because I will return Albaz on the field or Quem, Cartesia. And then basically I have enough bodies to banish his Arthelion and then attack for game. So yeah, you saw me playing twice against 300s basically, plus a Flame plus Horn. And yeah, this is what the deck can do. It is the best deck after all. Okay, so my student, Grant, actually sent me a combo with the deck post the support of Dude. And it's actually crazy how well the engines work together, and they will become even better with the new set. So let's take a look at that. So it's basically a 2-card combo with some discards, and Fusion Deployment plus Aluber into standard, Cartesia and Aluber protection from hand traps, into the Frixel, which is a light monster, which is very good for this deck. You can also banish Albion, and you could also obviously Lubellion, discard a card in your hand to go and fuse, and then have that Albion on the field if you want to fusion with Cartesia. But then you can go into Secretarion, triggering the Lucius, setting a Flame, and now what you can do is activate Frixel when you summon it back with Secretarion, summon back Lucius, and then return Aluber with Frixel. So now you have Aluber as a follow-up, and then you have both the new Dragontails on the field for Fusion Summon bodies. So now Lucius will resolve, and then you fuse with Fimena, you activate Urgula, setting the second trap card, and then you add Fimena to your hand with Urgula, and basically what you have is a Mirror Jade. You can also Mirror Jade, activate, send Titanic Lad, banish your Lucius, and then Titanic Lad summon Quem, Quem sent anything, it doesn't matter. On your opponent's turn, you activate Cartesia, fusing with a Mirror Jade. Quem reborn the Mirror Jade. And then you have Femena, pop with Gulamel, both traps, a Secretarian, a Banish with Mirror Jade, and a lot of follow-up. So yeah, that was a sweet 2-card combo that you can do. And now we will take a look at some test hands. This is a very good hand, it has access to every engine. So what I would do is activate Ketu to go and search Femena in order to protect myself from potential interruptions like impermanence. And also Femena is a DRACOTAIL name that you can use whenever. So you activate Quem, and for me here Quem sends either Fallen of Albaz or the Albion. I think the Albion is a bit better. It has the name Fallen of Albaz in the graveyard, but you can also use it to send a trap card after you fusion. The important thing is to activate Cartesia here, special summoning here because you have an Albaz in the graveyard. You can activate Lost, and then Cartesia and Edgem Chain will go ahead and fusion summon. So you trigger Quem, Gragignol, Lost, and Edgem Chain. Edgem Chain will go and search Patchwork. You will summon back the Blazing Cartesia. You can also search a Fallen of Albaz if you want, or you can search Spergan's Kit with the Lost. Then you resolve Titanic Lad. I would either send, Gragnol, I would either send Titanic Lad or Albion, or you can even send a Saronir, because that gets you into Branded Fusion. So you send Saronir here, Saronir triggers on the resolution, sending Retribution. Then what you can do is activate Albion. You will not get to draw, but that is completely fine. You don't really care about the draw. Then you can activate Patchwork to grab yourself the fusion access into DRACOTAIL combo later. Then you add back Branded Fusion. Even if that gets asked, you don't really care. You still have full DRACOTAIL combo, and then you can go Spriggan's Kits. So now Branded will resolve with Fallen of Albaz. One cool thing you can do is DRACOTAIL Pan for Titanic Lad. But I think here I would value Albion just a bit more. So you can send Lubellion. Obviously with the new support you send Frixel. So now you summon the Albion. You will trigger the Albion, banishing Fallen of Albaz and an Edgem Chain to go into Lubellion. Lubellion will trigger. You will discard that second Edgem Chain, fusion into a Mirror Jade. Then you can send this to the graveyard for Lubellion. Then you can activate Polymerization, fusing with you can fuse with Femena and with Spergan's Kit if you want. You can also fuse with Lubellion, but let's assume we do that one. So that triggers Arthelion and Femena. You can add back 2. You can either add back Kit or you can add back the Lubellion if you didn't use Saronir. But for now we can return these 2 monsters. And then we will set Rahu DRACOTAIL. So now we don't have space for Rahu, so we have to activate Femena to go ahead and fusion using these monsters into a Secretarian, and then we can activate Rahu using Urgula and Saronir into a Gulamel, setting ourselves a nice spell negate, and then activating Urgula, searching back our beloved Femena. You could also use Gragignol instead of Cartesia if you wanted. That gets you a bit more interruptions on your opponent's turn, because after you use your Mirror Jade, you can activate Blazing Artesia, summoning another Graginol, and then with Quem you summon back Mirror Jade. And in the end phase, you will have access to Albion's effect, which can give you a Branded in red. And if you don't want Branded in red because you don't have any Albaz or Despia names, what you can also do is either set Branded in High Spirits to send Fimena and Graginol to search Albaz, and then activate Cartesia to fuse into a second Albion, or you can also set Branded Opening, it's up to you. So that is one test hunt. Let's do a second one. Now let's do a second test hunt. This is a pretty good hunt. We can have access to both Branded Engine and the DRACOTAIL engine. You have Blazing Artesia and Saronir that gets you into Branded combo. You also have a normal summon, so you can do that with Mululu. So let's do... you can also summon Mululu to play around hand traps, and Mululu and Saronir will fuse into Arthelion. Chilling 1 will be Arthelion, Chilling 2 will be Mululu, Chilling 3 will be Saronir. With Arthelion, of course, you will add back the Mululu. If your opponent activates a permanence, you can chain Blazing Artesia to go and fuse into a Secretarian, so you dodge that impermanence if you feel that you lose to that specific hand trap. You can go Rahu or Ketu, depending on your liking, and then you send Retribution. Then you activate Blazing Artesia. You can get rid of Ad Libitum. You will get access to that later in the combo. Graginol is gonna send the Albion, which we're gonna put it back on the bottom and send Branded Fusion. And then with Retribution we will add Branded Fusion. Then Branded Fusion into Albaz and the Lubellion. Lubellion is pretty good here to go for Albion. And then we can banish our Arthelion for space and our Fallen of Albaz to go ahead and fusion summon into a Mirror Jade. Then we can use Bestial Lubellion. Bestial Lubellion will activate its effect to go ahead and grab a Brand Lost. Rahu. We can use Fimena here, or we can use Lucius and a Mululu to go ahead and summon the Gulamel, which will trigger both Lucius and Lost. So you're gonna search a Branded Spriggan's Kit, and you're gonna set a Ketu. So now Ketu can get you access to Fimena. And then what you can do is activate Fimena into a Secretarian. Secretarian can special summon the Lucius while putting back either Saronir or Lubellion, whatever you want. You can put back Lubellion in case you fusion summon in your opponent's turn and you want the Bestial. So you grab Fimena here. You can still extend and then go Spriggan's Kit, summon, add back Retribution, put back one of these. Obviously you will not end with a trap card, but in the end phase you will add back Blazing Artesia. You are gonna set a Branded in red. And now on your opponent's turn, what you can do is activate Mirror Jade, sending one of these, or if you want, because we will get access to Albaz later in the combo, you can send Rindbroom, banish an opponent's monster, then activate Branded in red, banish Ad Libitum of Despia, Mirror Jade, and the Spriggan's Kit to go and fuse into Guardian Chimera. You trigger both Guardian Chimera and Lost, and of course the Ad Libitum, summoning back your second Mirror Jade, then adding the Fallen of Albaz, which is pretty important when I find him. There you go. And then you are going to draw 2. It doesn't really matter what you draw. because you can go Fimena, Fusion with Blazing Artisan, Fallen of Albaz into, and of course that triggers Gulamel as well. You can Fusion summon into Albion, so now you can activate Albion, banishing your Secretarian and the Beastless Aronir for a Chaos. Pop 2 more, you have a droplet you can send, then you can also activate this one, sending a Titanic Lad. If that isn't enough, you still have Great Gnol into Quem, and you have Rainbroom summoning Albaz into effect, discarding Fusion summon with your opponent's field. So basically you have 2 Mirror Jade, 1 pop with Gulamel, 1 or 2 pops with Chimera, 2 pops with Star Source, 1 Super Poly effect with Albaz, and of course a lot of follow-up and negate with Droplet. So yeah, I mean no deck can beat that, no matter what it is and how many cards they have in their hand. So yeah, that is the deck. Thank you for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe.